Hello everyone, today we will talk about Khufu. Please subscribe to the channel so that our family can grow with you.
Like it to raise my morale. After you finish watching, please leave a comment with your opinion.
Enjoyable viewing for everyone.
Because of its chubby cheeks, the head is assigned to Khufu as well as to King Huni. All reliefs were made of finely polished limestone. Some of them originate from the ruined pyramid temple and the destroyed causeway, where they once covered the walls completely. Others were found reused in the pyramid necropolis of King Amenemhet I at Lasht and at Tanis and Bubastis, and a fourth example shows the king, with the double crown impaling a hippopotamus. At the Wadi Makara in Sinai, a rock inscription contains Khufu's names and titles and reports. Hormejedu Namkaf Bikuj Nebu, the great god and smiter of the troglodytes. All protection and life are with him. The work-off of the relief is similar to that of King Snefru. In one scene, King Khufu wears the double crown. Nearby, the depiction of the god Thoth is visible. In another scene, close by, Khufu wears the Atef crown while smiting an enemy. In this scene, the god Wepwat is present. None of the numerous relief fragments shows King Khufu offering to a god. This is remarkable, since reliefs of Snefru and those of all kings from Menkaura onward show the king offering to a deity. It is possible that the lack of this special depiction influenced later ancient Greek historians in their assumptions that Khufu could have actually closed all temples and prohibited any sacrifice. Khufu's pyramid was surrounded by an enclosure wall, with each segment 33 feet 10 meters in distance from the pyramid. On the eastern side, directly in front of the pyramid, Khufu's mortuary temple was built. Its foundation was made of black basalt, a great part of which is still preserved. Pillars and portals were made of red granite, and the ceiling stones were of white limestone. Today nothing remains but the foundation. From the mortuary temple, a causeway 0.43 miles long once connected to the Valley Temple. The Valley Temple was possibly made of the same stones as the mortuary temple, but since even the foundation is not preserved, the original form and size of the Valley Temple remain unknown. On the eastern side of the pyramid lies the East Cemetery of the Khufu necropolis, containing the mastabas of princes and Princess, 3 small satellite pyramids belonging to the Queen's Hetepheres G1, Meritites G1b, and possibly Hennetzen G1c were erected at the southeast corner of Khufu's pyramid, close behind the Queen's pyramids G1b and G1c. The cult pyramid of Khufu was found in 2005. On the southern side of the Great Pyramid lie some further mastabas and the pits of the funerary boats of Khufu. On the western side lies the West Cemetery, where the highest officials and priests were interred. A possible part of Khufu's funerary complex is the famous Great Sphinx of Giza. It's a 241 feet times 66.6 feet, 73.5 meters times 20.3 meters large limestone statue, in the shape of a recumbent lion with the head of a human, decorated with a royal Nîmes headdress. The Sphinx was directly hewn out of the plateau of Giza and originally painted with red, ochre, green, and black. To this day it is passionately disputed as to who exactly gave the order to build it. The most probable candidates are Khufu, his elder son Jedefra, and his younger son Khephren. One of the difficulties of a correct attribution lies in the lack of any perfectly preserved portrait of Khufu. The faces of Jedfar and Khafra are both similar to that of the Sphinx, but they do not match perfectly. Another riddle is the original cultic and symbolic function of the Sphinx. Much later it was called pharaonic Horus at the horizon by the Egyptians, and Abu-H or father of terror by the Arabians. It might be that the Sphinx, as an allegoric and mystified representation of the king, simply guarded the sacred cemetery of Giza. Khufu possessed an extensive mortuary cult during the Old Kingdom. At the end of 6th dynasty at least 67 mortuary priests and 6 independent high officials serving at the necropolis are archaeologically attested. 10 of them were already serving during the late 4th dynasty, 7 of them were royal family members, 28 were serving during the 5th dynasty, and 29 during the 6th dynasty. This is remarkable. Khufu's famous stepfather, Snefru, enjoyed only 18 mortuary priesthoods during the same period of time. Even Jedfar enjoyed only 8, and Khafra enjoyed 28. Such mortuary cults were very important for the state's economy, because for the oblations, special domains had to be established. A huge number of domains names are attested for the time of Khufu's reign. However, by the end of the 6th dynasty, the number of domains abated quickly. With the beginning of the 7th dynasty, no domain's name was handed down anymore. Middle Kingdom at Wadi Hammamet, a rock inscription dates back to the 12th dynasty. It lists 5 cartouche names: Khufu, Jedfar, Khafra, Bafra, and Jedfar. Because all royal names are written inside cartouches, it was often believed that Bafra and Jedfar once had ruled for a short time, but contemporary sources entitled them as mere princes. Khufu's attendance roll call in this list might indicate that he and his followers were worshipped as patron saints. This theory is promoted by findings such as alabaster vessels with Khufu's name found at Coptos, the pilgrimage destination of Wadi Hammamet travelers. A literary masterpiece from the 13th dynasty talking about Khufu is the famous papyrus Westcar, where King Khufu witnesses a magical wonder and receives a prophecy from a magician named Dedi. Within the story, Khufu is characterized in a difficult-to-assess way. On one hand, he is depicted as ruthless and deciding to have a condemned prisoner decapitated to test the alleged magical powers of Dedi. On the other hand, Khufu is depicted as inquisitive. The contradictory depiction of Khufu is the subject of great dispute between the Egyptologists and historians to this day, especially earlier Egyptologists and historians such as Adolf Ehrman. Reasonable and generous, he accepts Dedi's outrage and his subsequent alternative offer for the prisoner, questions the circumstances and contents of Dedi's prophecy, and rewards the magician generously. After all, Kurt Heinrich Seth and Wolfgang Helck evaluated Khufu's character as heartless and sacrilegious. They leaned on ancient Greek traditions of Herodotus and Diodorus Siculus, who described an exaggerated negative character image of Khufu, ignoring the paradoxical, because positive traditions the Egyptians themselves had always taught, but other Egyptologists, such as Dietrich Wilding, see Khufu's order as an act of mercy The prisoner would have received his life back if Dedi had actually performed his magical trick. Wilding thinks that Dedi's refusal was an allusion to the respect Egyptians showed to human life. The ancient Egyptians were of the opinion that human life should not be misused for dark magic or similar evil things. Verena Lepper and Miriam Lichtheim suspect that a difficult-to-assess depiction of Khufu was exactly what the author had planned. He wanted to create a mysterious character, New Kingdom. During the New Kingdom, the necropolis of Khufu and the local mortuary cults were reorganized, and Giza became an important economic and cultic destination again. During the 18th dynasty, King Amenhotep II erected a memorial temple and a royal fame stele close to the Great Sphinx. His son and throne follower Thutmose IV freed the Sphinx from sand and placed a memorial stele, known as the Dream Stele, between its front paws. The two steles' inscriptions are similar in their narrative contents, but neither of them gives specific information about the true builder of the Great Sphinx. At the end of the 18th dynasty, a temple for the goddess Isis was built at the satellite pyramid G1C, that of Queen Henetson at Khufu's necropolis. During the 21st dynasty, the temple got extended, and during the 26th dynasty, the extensions continued. From this period of time, several priests of Isis Hemnet-Uriset, who were also priests of Khufu Hemnet-Ur-Khufu, worked there. From the same dynasty, a golden seal ring with the name of a priest Nefertiti was found at Giza. Late period. During the late period, huge numbers of scarabs with the name of Khufu were sold to the citizens, possibly as some kind of lucky charms. More than 30 scarabs are preserved. At Isis Temple, a family tree of the Isis priests is on display, which lists the names of priests from 672 for 88 BC. From the same period comes the famous inventory stela, which names Khufu and his wife Henetson. However, modern Egyptologists question whether Khufu was still personally adored as a royal ancestor at this time. They think it more likely that Khufu was already because of his fame. Khufu is the subject of several modern references, similar to kings and queens such as Akhenaten, Nefertiti, and Ptolemy. This historical figure appears in movies, novels, and documentaries. In 1827, James C. Loudon wrote the novel The Monk, a tale of the 22nd century. The story describes the citizens of the 22nd century, which became highly advanced technologically, but totally immoral. Only the mummy of Khufu can save them. 64 in 1939. Naguib Mahfouz wrote the novel Khufu's Wisdom, which is based on the stories of Papyrus Westar. In 1997, French author Guy Richet published the novel series The Roman de Pyramids, including 5 volumes, of which the first 2, Le Temple Soleil and Rave de Pierre, use Khufu and his tomb as a theme. In 2004, spiritualist Paige Bryant published the novel The Second Coming of the Star Gods, which deals with Khufu's alleged celestial origin. 67, the novel The Legend of the Vampire Khufu, published by Raymond Mayotte in 2010, deals with King Khufu awakening in his pyramid as a vampire. Films which deal with Khufu or have the Great Pyramid as a subject include Howard Hawks' Land of the Pharaohs from 1955, a fictional account of the building of the Great Pyramid of Khufu, 69 and Roland Emmerich's Stargate from 1994, in which an extraterrestrial device is found near the pyramids. Khufu and his pyramid are the subject of pseudoscientific theories purporting that Khufu's pyramid was built with the help of extraterrestrials, and that Khufu simply seized and reused the monument, 70 ignoring archaeological evidence or even falsifying it. A near-Earth asteroid bears Khufu's name, 3,360 to Khufu. Khufu and his pyramid are referenced in several computer games such as Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation, in which the player must enter Khufu's pyramid and face the god Seth as the final boss. Another example was DuckTales for the Game Boy. The player here must guide Uncle Scrooge through a trap-loaded Khufu's pyramid in the classic action role-playing game Titan Quest. The Giza Plateau is a large desert region in Egypt where the tomb of Khufu and the Great Sphinx can be found. He is also mentioned in Assassin's Creed Origins, where the player can find his tomb.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to grow our family and like to raise my morale. Please leave a comment with your opinion on the video.